So today I'm reading off a teleprompter, but I have some new tools which make doing this so much easier and professional. I'm able to control the prompter hands-free. And no, I'm not using any sort of AI. I'm doing this using my feet with smooth analog control of the speed, as you can see here while I'm reading the script. This is not all it can be used for though, as these items can output MIDI, keystrokes, mouse clicks, macros, raw data. The potential use cases are endless. AirTurn and FluidPrompter reached out to me to see if I'd like to try this, and it certainly caught my attention. Of course, in the spirit of full transparency, they did send me these items to review, but have no say over what I say and will be watching along with you when the video drops. So how exactly is this working? Ben and the team from FluidPrompter partnered with AirTurn to combine their skills to make products for video. AirTurn are well known for making controllers for musicians, to turning pages on their music or controlling hardware and software, who like us require quiet and reliable devices for their performances. So let's check out what they've come up with. So they've sent me 3 different items. The first one is the AirTurn Digit 3. This is a remote control, very small, lightweight, about what you'd expect, with an up, down, left, right, and a middle button, as well as different modes that this can be set to for different options. This has got a few different ways of mounting. It's got ways you can clip onto the side, attach to a stand, however you want to do that. That's about what you expect. It's also rechargeable as well with USB. It's got micro USB on this model, although I have heard that they're looking to convert everything to USB-C moving forward, which would be good. But yeah, that's the Digit 3, that's number 1. Second one is the AirTurn Duo. This is the BT500. This is a very simple 2-button press device, but what's different between this one and many others is it's practically silent. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it is, yeah, pretty much silent. There's no clickiness, there's nothing that will pick up on a microphone, so you can very easily put this below your camera and not have to worry about this coming through. It's also got a couple of buttons on there if you want to be able to adjust things depending on your use case, but in a teleprompter scenario, this can be used, for example, to go between different sections of your script. You could also use it to play or stop or speed up and slow down if you want to do it in that way. But third item, which is the one I was most interested in when I heard about it, is this puppy. Now, the VP Junior here is not made by them. This is a musician's volume pedal, but they have got this prototype which is converting the analog signal into a digital signal. So how that's done is on the back here, it's got 2 TS connectors, and that's going into the volume pedal, in and then out again. So the volume adjustment made by this, which is normally designed for a guitar, for example, is being fed into this box. Now, this box is a prototype, which is why it's 3D printed, but the plan is for them to release into market for people like us. But it's a very simple box. The actual guts of this has been taken on from another box, which is designed to have 6 buttons on it. But it means that this has already been tried and tested and it's already been used on the field and works as you expect. It's Bluetooth also, like the rest of the devices. And in theory, you could actually unplug this, get some long TS cables or guitar cables and run this somewhere else and keep this plugged in. But all the data over all these devices is actually run over Bluetooth. So AirTurn sent me these 3 different options to kind of show what options there are out there and how these compare to some that's already on the market at the moment. Now, obviously, we've all seen clickers and stuff that we can buy off the shelf, but the nice difference between this one is that it's got a rechargeable and it is a direct Bluetooth control, which can go straight to your device, whichever you're controlling. And these modes can all be adjusted in software to adjust what it's doing, whether it's doing keyboard shortcuts, whether it's doing MIDI commands, it's anything like that. These are all adjustable in software, which is very cool. Now, this one is, again, is very simple, but the fact that this is silent is absolutely incredible. So here's some good use cases. So if you're doing teleprompter like we're talking about here, you can use these to go between different sections, or you can use this to speed up or slow down or pause or reverse. All of these options are customizable, which is very nice. And obviously being MIDI too, you could have trigger record or trigger different animations and things like that, depending on what you're doing. So that's a very cool use case for this. And again, being Bluetooth, connects straight to the device and is charged by USB-C. So you can actually just keep this powered on and plugged in however you want. And of course, the real star of the show here being the foot pedal. Now, as someone who uses Teleprompter occasionally and just does it by myself, and I'm sure you can relate to this, having a way to actually control that speed real time is very nice, because otherwise you have to try and find that perfect speed depending on how you read things or have someone control it for you. But this was actually incredible in terms of a user experience to be able to control that speed real time, not have to worry about hiding things or doing things off camera. The fact that it was just, I was sitting down or you can be standing up as well, and I was able to control that speed at such a fine resolution as well, because it is just an analog control coming through, which is really, really smooth. And being that it is a musician's pedal, this is going to be quite robust. It's designed to be, jumped on, and it's got a fair bit of inertia to it, so it's not like you can tap it. Having your foot on there feels quite natural. Again, being a musician's thing, this is designed for it, and it does an extremely good job. Now, obviously, because this is a prototype, this is why it's in the 3D box, their plan is to actually rotate this and make it so it's almost flush up against the back here, because obviously right now it is sticking out a little bit, but having the rubbers there, it is at the right height, so it's not, so if you do step on it accidentally, you're not going to snap off these connectors. And the fact that you could use some extension cables to run to somewhere else. So say you've got a talent on set who is controlling their teleprompter, and the teleprompter machine itself is in another room. You can run some long cables between this device and this device to be able to get close to your, get it close to the computer that is actually controlling the script. But with FluidPrompter, which is what we've been using to actually control, to run the scripts, you could actually have multiple devices lined up. So you can have, say, a device in the studio, which is acting as your controller, which is just connect to, or have multiple things connected to, so the host on set can control their speed. And you can have another computer in the control room, which is able to make adjustments to the script, for example. So that the talent can go, hey, can you make adjustments to the script? All of these can sync real time over the different computers, and that all comes together really nicely. Now, one thing that's really cool about this is that being Bluetooth and with Chrome and Chromium having real Bluetooth connection, this can go directly to FluidPrompter software on the computer, and because it's not using some sort of keyboard emulation, for example, it means that the software doesn't have to be in front. So if you're using a keyboard emulation, if you click away to another thing or a pop-up appears or something on that device, you've now lost control of your teleprompter. But because this is direct Bluetooth connection straight to the software in the browser, you have full control no matter what is going on, which is a really nice touch. Now, it's worth mentioning also that the proprietary connection to FluidPrompter is only available on the paid version. So if you want to have the analog control, actually this product at all to work, this will only work with the FluidPrompter software in its paid version, just so you know. Now, if you want to use the foot pedals, for example, that can be used as a keyboard emulation, but not as the direct Bluetooth connection that will work regardless of which, whether the software is in front or behind. So let's dive into the software and have a look at some of the options we have to configure these devices. So I've got the three here, which are connected via Bluetooth to this computer. And I'll connect to the last one, which is this foot pedal here. Now, this is actually the same internal board as this device that they sell. As you can see at the top here, it looks very similar. So obviously there's no buttons on this per se, but the analog pedals was already there as an option. But I'll go into this page, which is the switch actions. So anything with buttons on it you can actually adjust what those buttons do. And these can be keyboard commands, mouse commands, MIDI commands, and you can control up to 6 different modes of that. So mode 1 is actually their proprietary connection. So if they've got software which can handle that connection just like FluidPrompter can, that goes straight through. There's no worrying about keyboards, and that just goes straight into the software for the software to read. So that is mode 1. And mode 2 to mode 6, these are all keyboard/mouse commands that can be programmed in. So for example, in mode 6 on button number 1, I can go into here and I can adjust what type of output is doing. So it can be a standard value, it can be a pulse, a latch, a command, a momentary, keyboard, special keys, or mouse. And it's got a second item here as well. So there's a few different things. There's sequence or a combination, but I can make this a F11, for example, which is going to hide that. So I won't do that. But once that's all saved, you can save it to the device itself. So no matter what device or computer that you bring it up on, you'll have your presets ready to go. And you can actually change on the device while it's on which mode it's in, so we can come through. And in mode 7, we have all of our MIDI commands. So these can be damper pedals, whatever you want it to be, these can all come out as MIDI. So having MIDI as an option there is actually opens up a whole scope of things that can be done, because you can convert that MIDI into whatever software you want, really, because MIDI is an open standard, you can use it for anything. So those are the different options we have there. Your key repeat too, so you can have it on, so if you hold down for a certain amount of time, it'll start repeating at a certain rate, so that's all adjustable too. Now this is where the analog is, so as you can see, while I'm adjusting this, this is a fairly linear motion, even though this is actually, the potentiometer in this is for volume, not for a linear movement. So I was able to go in there and calibrate that to be a linear thing. So that's the analog. It's got some power saving. You can turn off after a certain amount of time. And right now it's actually on the low power mode, so it's a lower resolution mode. So if anything, you can get a faster response in high power mode, but obviously use a bit more power. And the pairing method, this can actually pair up to many devices, but only one device at a time can be using it. So I had my 2 different computers paired, so just depending on which one I was using, in the software I just grabbed that and I was able to jump at the same time. And there's a few other bits and pieces like updating the device, but it gives you an idea about the level of control you have over these devices. And overall, I've been really impressed. So there you have it. This has been a run through of this system, but ultimately, I want to hear from you. And so did the team at FluidPrompter and AirTurn as well. They want to know what kind of things you are looking for in your productions, because I feel like especially this and these silent options is something that's definitely needed in video land, particularly for those people who are doing their own control and they're on camera, because having that silent control is absolutely crucial. Especially people who are running PowerPoints, for example, having this to be able to go through their PowerPoint slides under the desk without anyone knowing is awesome. And having this controller for the speed is definitely going to be useful. So throw in the comments and let us know what you are looking for in some of these devices. Now for me, what I'll be using moving forward, honestly, I was actually about to buy one of the USB controllers, the contour controllers because we do a lot of productions where we have someone operating Teleprompter for our clients. But honestly, I think I'll just end up using these moving forward, because this is actually a really nice speed control, and not having to clutter up the desk. You can have the keyboard in front of you and you can make adjustments to the script going live. And this just sits all underneath and is wireless, has a long battery life, or you can just leave it plugged in. So I feel like that's what I'll be using it moving forward. And for the productions where I'm using Teleprompter for myself and for the channel, I will definitely be using these moving forward, because quite frankly, I feel like this is the best option we've got right now. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to look at buying some of these devices yourself, go check out airturn.com and you can go and find things there. If you're looking for this in particular, they do have a limited run at the moment of prototypes which you can get your hands on. fully functional prototypes, but it's not going to be the complete finished thing. But they did want to hear from you to find out if there's anything you wanted different before going live. That's it for this video. I really hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.